How's it going, guys? This is Luke from Coffee House, and today I wanted to give you a nice little quick video updating you about my thoughts on the long-term usability of the Fellow Ode. I know our first couple videos, we talked about the teardown, we talked about, everything kind of in terms of the actual functional build of this grinder. But what we didn't get to talk about is the actual use, the long-term use and the utility of having something like this in your home. And I think, my concluding thoughts are that it's a beautiful looking grinder. And, I think a lot of people who purchase this grinder are going to buy it for the looks. It's on Nordstrom's website for a reason. People are going to justify spending $300 on a coffee grinder because it looks amazing and it sits on the shelf really well. For me, for $300, there are maybe a few too many quirks for this to sit at the top of the $300 automatic grinderscape. Obviously, there's things that are cool, like the little knock here and stuff, but the functionality of something like that isn't really there. And the burr set is, the big point of contention for this grinder. And I'm sure you've heard that from a lot of other reviewers. For a medium roast or a light roast specialty coffee, the grind size is going to be finer so you can extract more out of a more dense bean. So really anywhere from 2 to 11, you're not gonna end up using unless if you're making cold brew or a French press. The only actual dialable amounts are between 1 and 2, which doesn't really give you a lot of room. So you're really not even fine tuning your pour overs. You're essentially just switching between the two options you have and the smaller little notches in between. It makes a lot of the usability of this grinder. It kind of takes away from that. And you can upgrade the burrs on this grinder, but once you spend the $200 to do that, now you're at $500, which is an entirely different price bracket for a grinder like this. So, for me, it's definitely great for if you're really into the uber nice coffee, like pot of coffee in the morning, because you can just slap it on one and just go to town. But functionally speaking, there's not a lot of room to play around with dialing in a pour over, which I think at this kind of price point, a lot of people are interested in finding something that they can dial in. Obviously, this cannot do espresso. It is only for brewed coffee. The second thing of the three things that I want to talk about is, this actual catch here and how the coffee is dispensed. This grinder is very, very messy. Since this doesn't really work that well, things get caught up inside the actual chute and kind of just static everywhere. Essentially there's just coffee everywhere when we grind with this, which is really unfortunate because when you look at something like the Baratza Forte, it consolidates all of that mess into one chamber, where it's sneaking out from the top. When you take this off, it's spilling everywhere on the sides, on here, and then to get this magnet back, you have to clean that off, and then it goes onto your counter. And in my kitchen, we have a granite countertop, so it makes it really hard to see coffee grounds. So it's just a little too messy, honestly. And then lastly, the on-off button here. Specifically speaking about the auto-off function, it's really hit or miss. If you turn this on and you intend to have it finish, turn itself off, it's going to work about 50% of the time, as I've seen, which is pretty unfortunate. It's going to keep running. And while it's cool that it has that feature, it's upsetting to know that even though the feature is on there and even though the feature is something that I probably won't use, it's upsetting to know that it doesn't really work when you may need it to. I want to give credit where credit's due. This is a beautiful, well-built, functional grinder. And I think Fellow took a really great, amount of time and money to make this what it is. And I think with, maybe a V2 or something like that, they're really going to optimize the features and all of the complaints or concerns and comments that people like me and the rest of the coffee community have expressed. That being said, I love using this in the office for kind of just a pot of coffee. But if I wanted to get specific about dialing in a pour over, if I really wanted to nerd out on coffee, this probably isn't something that I am going to jump on. I still recommend it to anybody who's looking to improve the aesthetics of their kitchen. But if you're really looking to get down to the science of coffee and making kind of that perfect cup, I don't know if I would personally recommend this. I'm Luke from Coffee House. I'm happy that I got to share this kind of long-term review with you. And obviously I want to answer any questions below, so please feel free to comment below. Please subscribe. Please follow our Twitch, Instagram, all that good stuff. We live stream our roasts, which is pretty awesome. But yeah, thanks again for tuning in, and I will talk to you next time.